Ladies and gentlemen, what's poppin'? It's your boy Sim, and I'm here with my man Tony Crow. And damn, it's been a while. It's been a long while. You know what I mean? Tony, I'm glad to be back. I'm trying to stay back. You dig what I'm saying? But yo, what's poppin' with you, brother? How you feeling?
What's good, Sim? Always good to be back on the stoop.
Yeah.
Oh man, we missed a lot.
A lot.
Lot's been going on.
All kinds
you know
of
what I
stuff.
mean?
We may just need to do a show where we just catch up with everything. You know what I'm saying? That everything that we missed, because it's been mad months. You know what I mean? Like, and we probably get into it a little bit later because we got a new show we're doing called OG Talk, ladies and gentlemen. And me and Tony been talking about it for a long time. But we finally about to kick this thing off, OG Talk. So, I've been going through a lot over the last 8 months, 9 months, a whole lot. You know what I mean? And yeah, we probably get into it and break it down a little bit. But right now we're going to talk about J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar. You know what I mean?
Grand opening, grand closing.
I mean, days ago, J. Cole responded to Kendrick Lamar, and delivered a diss track, 7-minute drill. Right? And really, when you think about it, first of all, I guess I just want to talk about that just for a hot second because, Kendrick really just, I don't even know if he issued a warning shot. He's just like, F a big three, it's just big me. Okay? I mean, obviously, you know who he's talking about. Talking about Cole, he's talking about Drake. That's pretty clear. But then Cole goes in with a whole joint, a whole song. You know what I mean? What do you think just about that right there? Kendrick just kind of threw a little something out there. Cole goes in with a whole joint.
Let me even go back a little bit further, right? With the first person shooter, which in a sense set it off as far as this recency.
Okay.
Where Cole had the line, he bigged up Kendrick, mentioned the big three. You know what I mean? He also said, the Drake, the Spider-Man meme is me looking at Drake, where in that sense he excluded Kendrick. And then he also said, yeah, we the big three, but I'm feeling like Muhammad Ali. You know what I mean? Which is saying I'm the one.
I'm the one.
You know what I mean? I'm the greatest, or whatever the case. So I mean, when we start right there, I'm a big J. Cole fan. I'm like, yo,
I'm with you.
He on a song with Drake. He mentioned the big three. You know what I mean? He talk about me and Drake as the Spider-Man meme, but then he's like, I'm the greatest still. You know what I mean? So, I like this energy, especially to go along with what he's been doing over the past 2 years on any feature he's been on.
Murder.
You know what I mean?
Murder,
Anybody
right?
he's on a track with,
yeah,
he's been by far the best guy in talking his talk. So, yeah, it was great times for J. Cole fans. You know what I mean? For a minute.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But so he responded with 7-minute drill, which was all right. I mean, I'm not like, oh, this is the craziest thing ever, but it was cool. It was good. Caught some slack though from people, just about some of the things he said, like we was talking about earlier, like you mentioned earlier before we jumped on, when you talk about, album putting people to sleep. I mean, like that's been a narrative about J. Cole for mad years. You know what I'm saying? And probably this might delete later. People probably gonna, I'm feeling it so far. I haven't listened to everything. I'm feeling it so far, but the tone of the album and the energy of the album, people might be like, damn, that shit is boring. But you know what I'm saying? I'm feeling it. I mean, but I'm a J. Cole fan, right? Nas used to get the same exact thing. Same thing. His albums put you to sleep. They're boring. Boom, 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 boom. But then, J. Cole issues an apology to Kendrick Lamar. I don't know if it's exactly to Kendrick Lamar, but he issues an apology, and I'm disappointed. I'm mad disappointed. I'm disappointed. I'm mad disappointed. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't. He does this all the time though. He's always like, it's like he feels bad. He says something and it feels bad and he backtracks it. It's almost like a I don't even know what to call it, but passive aggressive type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Well, all right, I'm gonna say this, but now I'm gonna take it back. So, but it's out there now, so people know how I really feel. But I'm gonna take it back so I can look like the bigger man or something crazy.
And you know why what I really don't like, the fact that he said all the things he said, and then tells Kendrick like, "Yo, I don't care. If you want to get your lick back, go ahead, bro." Like,
Right.
why even say
why
that
would you
part?
even say
What
that?
I mean?
And he was like, and if you want to get
now it looks like you cowering for real, because it's like, oh, if he gets his lick back, it's bullying because you already,
already right,
bowed out.
right.
So we know there ain't no back and forth again. You know what I mean? It ain't no response again if he does drop a record. And then, like, if that was the case, you could have not said nothing and let him get his lick back, because people still want to hear it.
People, right? You know what I'm saying? People
You know
still
what I
want to
mean?
hear
Like,
it. And he's like, I ain't gonna say, and I'm gonna take it like a man, take it on the chin, whatever he said. I'm like, come on, man. Like it really. I hate to say it because I'm a personally, I like Cole better than I like Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? His style just fits my ears better. You know what I mean? I like what he says in his music more than I like what Cole says in his music. That's me.
Kendrick, I think you said it backwards.
Yeah, I like what Cole says in his music better than what Kendrick says in his music. You know what I mean? I like Kendrick. I like Kendrick. His style is cool. I'm not a big fan of his voice. That's me. I do like, I like that he's real creative and he takes chances with his music and all of that. But I just feel J. Cole better. Bottom line. But damn, he disappointed me with this. You know what I'm saying? He really disappointed me with this joint. I don't even know what to say. I need to talk to my daughter and my son, because both of them are huge J. Cole fans. You know what I'm saying? And find out what they think about it.
Should have had him
Right
on.
now. I should have.
But yeah, I feel you, bro. I feel you.
You know what I mean?
Because well, let's backtrack a little bit. You know what I mean?
Well,
I
let's
know
listen to it.
it's kind of
Let's listen to it real quick.
I wanted
Okay.
to know what you think of Kendrick's verse on the Like That record, or the Like That record in general.
I mean, I like that record. I wasn't
Album,
like,
you know what I mean? The whole album is pretty much going at Drake. What was your thoughts on that whole thing?
I was all right. I wasn't blown away. What about you?
I mean, I felt the same way. Like, and again, similar to what you're saying about Kendrick, I'm not really a Future fan.
Yeah,
You know what I
either.
mean? Like, every now and again he'll have a record that I actually do like, but overall I'm not jumping at. I know he does well. He sells records, but he's like, his music is not for my ears, kind of,
Yeah.
in a sense, overall. Like, so, but I did listen to the Future album, you know what I mean?
I
And
dig it.
again, it is getting acclaim,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I listen for other things. As far as the Kendrick verse, I'm not gonna say it was underwhelming. I like the fact that I like the energy he was on, but I also felt it was getting more publicity,
More
or like
praise than
more hype than it deserved. Like, I wasn't
definitely.
blown away either,
And
if you will.
yeah, and it could be just because he was like in this feud, he was the first one to strike a blow. You know what I mean? So, maybe that's the reason why I was getting the fuel that it was getting. D Coolest, he said, I think it's all cap. Rap is falling off. Taylor Swift and Beyonce is getting all the attention in the music industry. They had to do something to bring back the hip hop audience. That's not blind to me either. You know what I mean?
Even if that's the case, optically, I don't think we still would agree that was a mistake. You know what I mean? Either not put the record out at all, or stand on it and don't you know what I mean? Don't walk it back.
Yeah. How much do you think it's was really to push people to go listen to Might Delete Later?
I don't. That's the thing. I think Cole is Cole no matter what.
Okay.
I think Kendrick's Kendrick no matter what. I think Drake's Drake no matter what. You know what I mean?
Actually, I'm talking about on Cole's standpoint. On Cole's, just from his perspective. Like maybe he felt like, okay, I'm not getting I ain't getting the streams that I thought. Let me say something, and now people are gonna go.
But that's where I disagree because one, the Might Delete Later was being rolled out anyway. You know what I mean? If anybody was up on the vlogs and everything, you know what I mean? That's what I mean when I say he is who he is. Like the Cole fans, they already knew. I can't even say knew because the album was not announced. It was just released.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. How much, because it was just released, like how much,
I think that's it. That's what he does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he don't, you know what I mean? So I think that's what I'm saying is like the people who aren't Cole fans and came and listened because of what's going on,
mm-hmm.
their perspective is different than, you know what I mean? Like the normal Cole consumer. So their perspective, it looks even worse because it looks like, you know what I mean? It looks like, yo, you just put this together. You know what I mean? You dropped this because of this the
entire album. That's what it looks like,
the entire
right?
album,
they dropped
yes.
it like
not just added this song to it. You know what I mean?
Like you were saying earlier, if you listen to the album, there are things that he's saying in the album that you could say, well, damn,
directly applied.
Yep. That directly apply. You know what I'm saying? He's talking to Kendrick or Drake or you know what I'm saying, but
or whoever.
But because of this, you can say, well, damn, this whole album is about. You got mad joints on here that's about Kendrick. You know what I mean?
And like, now it look even crazier. Now it look even crazier. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I'm tight too, Sim.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You know what? And the crazy thing, because obviously we both Nas fans too. And one of my harshest critics about Nas too is that like he's an apologist too. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I'll be like, yo, you didn't have to say that like the song Ultra Black.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He's talking about being ultra black, but then somewhere towards the end of the song, he's like, something, we all are black. And I'm like, you didn't have to, it's almost like you're trying to apologize for saying, ultra black. You know what I mean? You didn't have to do that. You could just let the joint be, And he does that. What else he do that on? He says something about on KD1, he was talking about how people don't want to hear what we go through. And then he's like, and that's cool too. Nah, what you mean? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I feel J. Cole does the same thing. He's always saying something and then apologizing.
I think I'm just laughing here because I was telling you how the internet was like, oh, he let Nas down again. So, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
I'm like, there, bro.
Because I'm saying Nas does the same thing, but he does it in the song. If he let Nas, Nas might be like, yo, you did the right thing. You never know.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? Nas might be like, yo, you did the right thing. You did the right thing. That was whatever.
That was that man shit, right?
Yeah. Right, exactly. That's exactly what he might do.
And we laughing, and we the biggest Nas J. Cole fans, but the reality is the reality, bro.
Yeah, it is, man. It's crazy. I mean, we didn't even get a chance. Let's listen to it. Let's listen to it and see if we got any other thoughts about it, ladies and gentlemen. This is J. Cole at the Dreamville Festival, apologizing to his fans, to Kendrick, whoever he's apologizing to. Take a listen.
In my spirit of trying to like get this music out, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I moved in a way that I feel spiritually feel bad on me. Like I try to like jab my back and I try to keep it friendly. But at the end of the day, when I listen to it and when it comes out and I see the talk, that shit don't sit right with my spirit. That shit make me feel, that shit disrupts my peace. So what I want to say right here tonight is in the midst of me doing that and in that shit, trying to find a little angle and downplay this catalog and his greatness, I want to say right now tonight, how many people think Kendrick Lamar is one of the greatest motherfuckers to ever touch a microphone? We know. Dreamville, y'all love Kendrick Lamar, correct?
So do you.
As do I. So I just want to come up here and be like, publicly be like, bro, that was the lamest, like, goofiest, and I say all that to say, it made me feel like 10 years ago when I was moving incorrectly. And I pray that God aligned me back up on my purpose and on my path. You know what I mean? I pray that my really didn't feel no way, and if he did, got my chin out. Take your best shot, I'm gonna take that on the chin, boy. Do what you do. You know what I mean? Like, all good. Like, it's love. And I pray that, y'all are like forgiving for like the misstep, and then I can get back to my true path. Because I ain't gonna lie to y'all, the past 2 days felt terrible. Like, it let me know how good I've been sleeping for the past 10 years. In my spirit of trying to like.
All right.
Two things.
Okay.
I want clarification on what your true path is.
Word.
Because I thought your true path was showing that you the best.
Right.
You number one.
Right. How many times did he say that throughout the album? This latest album. How many times did he say, like, somehow allude to himself being the best?
How many times he said that over the past 2-3 years?
Over the past 2-3 years, on verse after verse after verse, feature after feature, right? You know.
And then my other part is, again, if he would have, the only thing I could say that might justify some of the things he's saying is maybe he ain't called Kendrick. Maybe they haven't spoken. You know what I mean? Maybe their friendship really has altered over the years. Not to the point where, because somebody said, you can put it up. He said he apologized. The coolest 718. He apologized to let the fans know ain't no beef. It's just lyrical competition. But he could have just said that. You know what I mean?
Right.
He could have clarified. Yo, I'm moving out of character. I could have just called Kendrick. Right. You know what I mean? Like, and clarified whatever it is between them. Because obviously, from what he's saying, he's like, oh, I don't know if he's mad. You know what I mean? If he feels some kind of way, that if he want to, you know what I mean? So obviously, y'all not in contact.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and I mean, my thing is, even if you're not in contact, you can reach out to him afterwards and be like, yo, it's on record. You know what I mean? Let's have fun with it. Do what you're gonna do. I mean, did he say anything so out of bounds? Like, he didn't talk about skirting on his baby's mother on his baby seat. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's why it's crazy because you should have just stood on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think honestly, I think the reactions got to him. The reactions is what made him respond that way.
Yeah.
I think if he would have been, now granted, it's two ways to look at it, because a lot of people, like he talked about To Pimp a Butterfly, you know what I mean, being gassed up. That was a large discussion throughout Twitter. Once that verse came out, you know what I mean, a lot of people was like, oh yeah, it was. You know what I mean, agreed, when that wasn't the sentiment at the time, right? Right. At the time, that was the, you know what I mean, the best,
one of the greatest albums, you know what I'm saying, ever. You know what I mean? Still, so, but it's still revered that way too, you know.
But my point is, even if you wrong, Just stand
Just
on it.
stand on it. Right.
You could be wrong. Like, you could be wrong.
Just stand on
now-
it. Even if 10 years down the line, people look back and be like, oh yeah, he was bugging. But ain't nobody gonna look back and be like, oh yeah, he's even super whack now because he said that. No, people are like, yo, there was they was going verse for verse, whatever he said what he said. Yeah, this apologist stuff, man.
That's a big blow, man. And like I was saying off camera, this affects him moving forward.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the reception, I can't see the reception I was expecting from the fall off.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever it drops, no matter how good it is. You know what I mean? No matter how good it is, I can't really see him getting the just due of what it, what it should get. And that's granted if it lives up to that standard. But how you gonna talk? You can't talk the same talk moving forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't talk the same moving forward.
Yeah, you can't. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta be like Khaled now. We the best. You know what I mean? Like you can't say I'm the best no more.
You can't. You know what I mean? It's I don't know, man. Right. That's the thing. Like you can't, you can't sit there and just be like, because people gonna say, oh, all right, but you soft though, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how it feels to me. Like kind of soft, oversensitive. You know what I'm saying? And but J. Cole has always been kind of like over worried about what everybody thinks about him, in my opinion. Always. You know what I mean? Always. Always like just too worried about what everybody thinks about him instead of just doing him and doing him and doing him. The Coolest said, how many times did Jay-Z apologize to people and it didn't affect his career? Who did he apologize to? He apologized to Nas. Not for the takeover, but for Super Ugly. Right? Because his mother told him to. You know what I'm saying?
And I don't even think he apologized to Nas. He apologized to the women.
To the women.
And well, kids, yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, who else did he apologize to? Like talking about like rap battles. I mean, business stuff or whatever, that's one thing. But talking about like battles, versus going at somebody else, who else did Jay apologize to? I mean, I'm trying to go back in my mental Rolodex. I don't know who else he apologized to. You, Tone?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't know. I obviously him and Nas, became friends, throughout that. But I don't think he came out public. Well, and like you said, he apologized to the women. I don't think he came out publicly. Him was just like, "Yo, I'm sorry for dropping Takeover." You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry that Flex did a whole show called The Takeover. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry for how many times I came at you on Blueprint 2 and Blueprint 3. You know what I'm saying? I ain't seen none of that. And turn around and call himself lame. Come on, man. Come on, man. I don't know.
I mean, and again, put context to it. Maybe some of the bars he put out, he ain't really believe. I mean, maybe he did like To Pimp a Butterfly, but he was just using a narrative. Maybe that's the things that he's calling lame. But yo, if you're gonna do that, man, you might as well be specific. Like give us an understanding of what you, because it looked bad, bro. It looked like you worried about his response. That's the way it looked.
That's the way it looks. That's the way it looks.
And let me do this, so maybe he don't give me a response.
Yeah, right. Or if he comes back hard, and I really can't compete with it, I done already told everybody I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna just take it on the chin. I'm gonna take it like a man. I don't know. I don't know.
Now I hope Kendrick responds with the most disrespect ever. Like
Because
on some hit him up. You know what I mean? That's why.
let me tell you
like,
something. Let me tell you something. If Kendrick responds like that, and then J. Cole doesn't respond back, like it's gonna look even worse because now he looks like punked. Because it looks like he like you said, it looks like he's trying to, finagle, like, all right, he might respond hard. Let me say this. Maybe he won't respond. Boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? And then he still doesn't care what you just said and even talks about how you punked yourself. That's bad. That's bad. That'd be rough.
I'm trying to think, because the coolest, he also said, people really think it's gonna turn into some street-ish. I don't know that to be true. I don't know how many people really think that, but I'm trying to think how many battles, rap beefs or whatever that did we see that didn't lead that way?
Yeah.
That didn't go that way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's not many. It's not many that was really done for the sport. You know what I mean? Just for the competition of it. Everything, every single one that I could think of off the top of my head ended up in some type of either real street stuff or at least real animosity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Real disdain for each other. Is there one that you could think of that was done just for the sport of it? For the, you know what I mean? For the competition part of it?
Is there just for the competition part of it, sport of it?
Like I'll say the beanie Jada, the beanie locks joint. Nothing happened, but it was leading. But it was, you know what I mean? It was leading that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like even like, so I'm not saying something happened, but even the ones that nothing happened, it was tension. You know what I mean?
There was tension. There was real tension. Yeah.
So can you think of one that wasn't? You know what I mean? And maybe that's the part that,
right. And,
maybe that's the part that he, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, you gotta, like, I feel like I'm defending him. I'm trying to explain. explain
I mean,
for him.
see, here's the difference too between then and now too. Like, and not even then and now. I'm just gonna say with Cole and Kendrick, back then, like these guys, and and it's still like that in regions today. You know what I'm saying? What dudes is beefing because it'd be some real street beefs turning into rap beefs and all of that, especially like Memphis and all of that, right? But when you talk about like Jada and Beanie and the Locks and all of that, like these dudes is running in the same circles a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're in Philly and New York. Like they running in the same circles. They going out to the same clubs. They talking to the same people on a regular basis, and things is getting back and forth to each other. How somebody's speaking, what somebody thinking, and all that kind of stuff. I feel like Cole and Kendrick is not, even in the rap game altogether, it don't feel like people are running in the same circles as much because it's grown so much and it's so much bigger, so much larger, such a bigger atmosphere. Now, don't feel like they're running in the same circles like they did back then. You know what I mean? So like those little, you know how it is. You know what I'm saying? People running in the same circles. You really don't know this dude, but you know similar people. And so little things is getting back and forth to each other. Now you listening to the verse and you're like, damn, that sounds like you talking about me. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Based off of what this person or that person says. So there could be some real animosity. I don't see this being like real animosity. Besides it really being verbal jarring.
I agree that I agree that wasn't in jeopardy of. But what I'm saying, aside from the, like, not talking about these two guys.
Yeah.
Can you recall a time where two guys just did it for because even like there's rap beefs and battles out today currently, but it's still real animosity.
Yeah.
Like this Drake Future thing, I think that's a real. I mean, that's a real. That's not just music. That's not a battle for who's the best artist. You know what I mean? Like, it's personal.
Yeah.
And I'm two questions, I guess. Do you think Cole may feel like this was feeding a narrative where, you know what I mean? I mean, he shouldn't feel that way. Kendrick did what he did on the Future album. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like, what do you think is so bothersome for him where he feels like he did something lame? Because I don't think it's just going. Like, he specifically talked about the discography, which. So is it like, oh, I took a lame angle?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, is that what it,
because,
like,
I mean,
the
because he
angle was
said it. He
bad?
said it in the thing. I'm trying to find an angle. Boom, 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 and I said some lame shit. You know what I mean? Like, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's like, damn, I shouldn't have said this or that. I could have took a different angle. Because
Just say that.
yeah,
And that's not the time to say it either. At your like,
own,
let the consensus be the consensus,
right?
And then be like, yeah, I could have came with a better angle than that in an interview or some shit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, a year later, 2 years
later
later,
down the
something
line.
like that. Yeah, I don't know. No doubt. But ladies and gentlemen, man, we're gonna move on to our next thing. OG talk. That's what we're gonna do. That's the name of just a new segment we're doing, probably a new show that we're doing. Where we just really, talk about some stuff. You know what I mean? Of course, we got Nas up there because for the name of this segment, he's the inventor. OG talk, once a man, twice a child. You know what I mean? And like I said, the last 8-9 months been crazy for me, Tony. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of things happened over the last 8 to 9 months, including me, getting a divorce. You know what I'm saying? Going through, and it was amicable. You know what I mean? Basically, we just, once the daughter flew the coop, we knew we wasn't right for each other, and it was time to move on. You know what I'm saying? So, but, so going through it was obviously difficult, you know what I'm saying? Because you got so many financial ties and all those type of things that you got to work through. So the last 8-9 months been crazy because this actually happened in October, finalized 4 months ago or whatever. But before then, I'm running back and forth to New York 3 times a month because my grandmother, you know what I mean, she needed to have 24-hour supervision. So I'm running back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Running back and forth. Trying to work, trying to keep up with the shows, trying to focus on, just family life, like my daughter, my son, my grandkids and all that kind of stuff, but also want to make sure that I'm helping to take care of my grandmother and supporting everybody there. It was just wild, you know what I'm saying? And in the midst of all that, me and my ex-wife, we wasn't even talking. Like, because we knew it was done. It was just like, she's living her life, I'm living my life. So we talk about almost a year that we wasn't even, you know what I'm saying, up to this point. And it was just like, boom, we knew what was going on. We knew what was happening. And then when we got to finally, things was kind of stable with my grandmother, then bam, that's when we hit like, all right, we're done. You know what I'm saying? And now it's like process, you selling a home, you got cars and, all of this kind of stuff. Like it's a lot of stuff. So, you know what I mean? It's life-changing stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like in a growth period right now. Growth period. I feel like, especially right now, I feel like when I was 18 and graduating from high school and moving on to something new. You know what I'm saying? Moving on to a next phase of my life. That's why I feel like I'm right now. Growth period.
So that was a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah, there's so much more. So much more going on. I mean, I can't get into it all now.
Believe me, from behind the scenes and everything. I know,
you know what's happening. Yeah.
some of the stories and everything. But salute to you for one. Like, I think the great thing about what we're doing right now, this OG talk, is this gonna be therapeutic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Word.
just like, the late phone calls or whatever that I call you when I'm going through something. You know what I mean? You call me when you going through something. Now we gonna share some of
We're
these
gonna share
things.
some of
You know
these
what I mean?
things. Not everything. Some things gotta stay
strategic. You know what I mean?
strategic and off the, not out so everybody can hear it, because some people might hear stuff that we don't want them to hear. But
But it's therapeutic,
yeah.
man, and I think this is a good good starting point to. I mean, I didn't know you was gonna go there and just let some of the cat out the bag, but yeah,
Yeah,
man.
I mean, this is the time to
Number
do it, the
one,
place to do it.
you handled the time. You know what I mean? When you was going through these things, the 9 months, 10 months. You know what I mean? I mean, you held down the shows you know what I mean? MBK fan, you know what I mean? We slacked off on the stoop a little bit, you know what I mean? But for the most part, you know what I mean? Like, we took care. You took care of. You didn't let it show. You didn't let it affect. You know what I mean? Like the other parts of your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
And
I know that was tough on you.
Yeah, it was tough because it's so much that you have to do. So much energy that you got to expend. You know what I mean? And obviously, I mean, we was married for 22 years. So, there's some emotions tied behind those 22 years. And then now you got to break it to your daughter. You got to break it to your son. You know what I'm saying? You got to, this is what happened, what's happening. And while they could see it like, you know what, we knew this was going to happen, it's still a big change for them. You know what I'm saying? It's a life change. You know what I'm saying? Their whole life is changing. And then at the same time, they're going through stuff too. You know what I mean? So it's just a big, it's a big life change. But I look at it as a growth period. I don't see myself as having a midlife crisis. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not like I'm going through something like, oh my God, I'm not young. I'm not young anymore. I'm not this. I'm not that. I'm more like, I just feel like I've been over these past. I'm 48, and 48. For 48 years, I've been preparing for what's coming next. I'm saying that's kind of where I feel. You know what I mean?
And I mean, the crisis, a midlife crisis. The crisis part isn't that based off of how you handle whatever it is that you're going through?
It could
You
be.
know what I mean? Like so. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, another person, if they dealing with the same exact situations that you was in, it might have been a midlife crisis for
It
them.
could have been.
But the fact that you know what I mean, you weathered through it, you know what I mean?
Still weathering.
You
you know what I'm saying? 'Cause it's
still
some
weathering
things
for
going
sure.
on.
I
We
mean,
getting
it's a
through,
work in
but
progress always. You know what I mean? But you didn't succumb. You ain't give up. You ain't quit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about midlife growth periods? We always hear about midlife crisis, but midlife growth periods, right? Because that's where I feel like I'm in. I'm in a midlife growth period. Because I can settle in and just be like, all right,
Did you
I
coin
got
that?
a career. Maybe. I don't know.
I mean,
But like,
you might. I mean,
I could settle and be like, all right, you know what? I got a career that I'm cool with. I'm doing some things. I can just settle in and just kind of like try to coast. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like I'm ready for a fresh start with a new just outlook on the world, and like there's a lot of things because my son was born when I was 18. You know what I'm saying? By the time I was 18, I had my own apartment. You know what I'm saying? And I'm raising, by the time I'm 19, I'm raising my son by myself on my own. Right? So throughout all of this time, I don't want to, like talk about how, like I missed this and I missed that, because I don't feel like I did. I had enough support with my family that I can basically do whatever I want. You know what I mean? But I never, ever, like had a time where I wasn't responsible to care for somebody. You know what I'm saying? and can just be free to just go and do whatever I want. I just never had that time. I mean, because from the time I was, young till I was 18 years old, I'm under the supervision of my parents, and then, I'm 18 and now I got a child that I'm caring for and I'm doing it by myself. I got great family support and all of that, but I always, and then I have a daughter, so I always have someone that I have to look after and care for and worry about their well-being, because I'm responsible for them, and I'm still, part responsible for, my kids and my family and stuff like that. But now I'm like a free bird. I can come and go as I want to, you know what I mean? And just do what I want. And I'm looking at it like, this is a point where I can take my career to another level. I can take the things that I'm doing with podcasting and stuff like that to another level. You know what I mean? I can do those things. You know what I'm saying? And it feels good. It feels like freedom, so I got my eyes set on just places I want to go, things I want to do, goals I want to accomplish. Man, it's dope. And then personal growth, just like how am I growing as a human being?
You saying once a man, twice a child. I mean, it sound like second childhood. You know what I mean?
It could have been that second childhood for real.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But
for real, it that definitely could have been the title of this right here, second childhood, because I feel like I'm going through another one of those, except now I'm 48, I have much more knowledge behind me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But I still feel youthful. You know what I mean? And 48 don't feel like what I thought 40 when I was 28, I thought 48 was like, dang, 48. You know what I'm saying? But I don't feel like that.
That's a fact. And I do like we got to keep that to what'd you call it, midlife growth?
Dang, I done forgot it already.
It's all right. It's on tape.
Yeah,
we gonna
midlife growth.
We gonna find that
growth period, midlife growth period, or something like that.
Growth period. There you go.
Yeah.
No, I like that. I like that coin. I like that phrase. I never heard it. But that's a goal. You know what I mean? That's a goal to strive for. You know what I mean? Avoid the midlife crisis and look for that midlife growth period. You know what I mean? Because it's number one, it's never too late. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you should never stop growing, whether it's mentally, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, emotionally, you always need to grow and become better person than you was yesterday. Like that's what I always try to say. You know what I mean? I just want to be better than I was yesterday.
Yeah. No doubt. Because for real, you never, even if you're not growing, because physically at some point everyone's gonna stop. Your age is gonna catch up to you. Your body, physically, age is gonna catch up to you. But up here, you can always keep growing. Hopefully. I mean, there might come a point where you can't grow up there anymore either. You know what I'm saying? But as long as you can, you know what I mean, you can grow mentally, you can grow emotionally. You know what I mean? And be able to pass that knowledge and wisdom down to the younger generations. You know what I mean? And help build your family. You know what I mean?
It's a fact.
Because it's just, so much that be going on. And now the thing, of course, as you get older and your body changes, you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of stuff you got to deal with when your body changes. That's what that whole song, that Nas got, Once a Man, Twice a Child, is kind of, what it's about, right? Just, how do you get used to like a new you?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? A new you. Because, they talk about it in sports all the time. Somebody suffers an injury, but they got to get used to their new body. How do I use my new body? You know what I mean? It's the same thing as you get older, right? How do you use your new body? And I think people just look at it like, okay, I'm aging and, I can't do this the same, that the same, but instead of figuring out how do I use my new body, my body's different now. So how do I capitalize on that? You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it.
I like the sports analogy, especially, when you relied on your athleticism, right? As with your youthfulness, you rely on that athleticism. You know what I mean? That once that athleticism is gone, now it's about basketball IQ, right? It's
Right.
about decision making. It's about
Exactly.
you know what I mean? Like how do you use what you learned mentally, you know what I mean, and less of that physical ability. So yeah, I like that analogy.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because that's exactly what it is. You know, as you're getting older, it's like, all right, you know, how do I use my knowledge and wisdom to maybe, you know, still do the same things I was doing, but just a different way. You know what I mean? You know, and you know, as you're older now, you know, hopefully you got more money, right? You know, hopefully, you know, you should have more wisdom. You know, maybe you have more things in your possession that you can use to, you know, whatever it is that you're looking to try to do. You know, you can utilize those things. You know what I mean? So it's just a new way. You got to look at yourself and, you know, look at your body physically, your life, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, you know, it's definitely a change. You know, and as a person, you got to figure out how do I go with the change. You know what I'm saying? How do I figure out who I am, you know, after I've changed, you know, for so many years. And that's what I've like kind of gone through. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't want to say it's perfect timing, you know, pain, you know, hardship. I don't know if, I mean, yeah, it was hardship, you know, just going through it. It's tough. You know what I'm saying? It's never welcomed, but, you know, if, you know, what they say, without pain, there's no gain.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And what
it
doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
makes you stronger, right? And so you got to figure out, like, okay, how do I take this and how do I take this? You know, it's another thing for me to learn from. How do I take this and grow? You know what I mean,
What I love about this though, and I wish I knew like the full context of what we was doing tonight, because I would have had just a lineup of some questions.
yeah. I
But
mean, that's
what I
whatever. You
love
know what I'm saying?
about
I
what
didn't
I
even
love about
know. I didn't even know what I was going to really talk about. Say,
I
I
can
just was
tell
like,
how
all right,
I
boom.
can tell how you just came out and let it go. So you know what I mean.
Yeah,
But what I love about this is, and on camera now, off camera, you know what I mean. Like I could always call you, right?
yeah,
So it's like you learning, you going through things and growing and getting better, but it's also gonna help me get better. You know what I
yeah.
mean? It's gonna help me learn.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just being able to watch you, talk to you, get advice
Mm-hmm.
from you, and things of that nature. And hopefully, you know what I mean,
And
this thing will help with listeners, you know, callers. You know what I
exactly,
mean? May have some
exactly.
questions. You know what I mean? We may get some advice from somebody listening
You know what I
and
mean?
calling. Hey
You
man,
know
I
what I mean?
heard this such. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, it's really
Yeah.
about each one teach one,
That's it. You know what I'm saying?
right?
Because I get the same thing from you. You know what I'm saying? You know, when I need something and I can call you and say, dang, you know, this happened. They said this, that, this, and that. And you can tell me your experience with it. And I can say, okay, well, how can I apply that to me and in my experience right now? You know what I mean? You know, that's priceless to be able to have. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And like,
That's
and when people are different stages, same and different stages of their life. But, you know, like for example, I have a daughter that graduated 4 or 5 years ago. You have a daughter that's graduating soon. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, with things that I've been able to share with you, you can be like, all right. So, you know what I'm saying? Is this something that, you know, maybe I have to look forward to this. Maybe I don't. But if I do, you know what I'm saying? I at least, you know, I didn't experience the feeling, but at least I heard what Sim was going through. So I can pick some things off of that. Like, you know, it's ways. And, you know, for a lot of people, they don't have that. So for us to be able to come out here and just talk about some things may
mm-hmm.
provide, you know, a little bit of an outlet for some people. You know, it might provide a you know, a peer group for some people, a group session for some people. All of that. You know what I mean? All of that.
And like I tell you, sir, from the Knicks podcast to this show to just regular phone calls, man, it'd be so therapeutic. All of
Yeah,
it. You know what I
all
mean?
of it.
It'd be so therapeutic. So I mean, I'm sure this is gonna be. I'm looking forward to this segment here because you know what I mean. Like it's just like real life talk. I'm sure it's gonna be a time where one of us, maybe both of us, is crying.
Listen,
you know what I mean?
let me say something. Let me talk about that real quick though, because I ain't even gonna front. I don't know what it is. As I get older, I find myself ready to go into tears quicker than I ever did in my life. I'm like, what's you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, what's going on? Why, why am I getting sentimental over something? You experienced that?
Bro, I'm tearing right now. I'm laughing.
I don't know what it is, bro. I'm like, yo, this ain't, what's going on? That's how I start feeling emotion welling up in my chest. I'm like, it was good. Feel like J. Cole.
Yo.
You know what I'm saying?
Man.
I'm like, yo.
I think that is definitely a fact, yo. As you get older, a lot of that toughness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It softens up a little bit. You know what I mean? Like some things that you used to laugh at ain't really as funny anymore.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? Like situations that you didn't care about, you start to care about.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? I find myself always reflecting back on, and listen, throughout all of this, I know I'm gonna get into a lot of like my childhood. I know that I am. You know what I mean? Just like so many things, you know, everybody has traumatic experiences, and I had some too. You know what I mean? So I know I'm gonna get into a lot of like, my childhood and stuff like that. But I always find myself nowadays just thinking back. That's why, like, some people talk about Magic 3. Some people don't like Magic 3, whatever. I really like the album because it's like him looking back at his life. He reached age 50, looking back at his life and like, boom, here, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm celebrating. I'm 50 years old. I made it to 50 and through all of these experiences, music, personal life, everything, you know what I'm saying? You know, and I'm here. I made it. You know what I'm saying? I'm grateful to be here. I mean, that's why I like that album so much. I find myself reflecting all the time. Just reflecting on so many things. You know what I mean? Just looking back like, damn, I made it through that. You know what I'm saying? Like this was, maybe considered a near-death experience. You know what I'm saying? Like I made it through that shit. You know what I mean? And I'm still here, ticking, I'm strong, and I'm ready to start another chapter of my life. It's crazy. It's crazy.
And it's great though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's great. It's inspirational. You know what I mean? In a sense, it's inspirational for me. You know what I mean? Like I look at a lot of aspects of not just your life, but just lives in general, but people that affect my life. And like when I look at like even your relationship with your pops, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I be cherishing that from afar, you know what I mean? Just because I didn't get to have that.
Yeah.
So the fact that it's still going on at your age, it's like it's unfathomable to me. You know what I mean? Like, that's great. That's great to see.
It's beautiful.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, man. And then it's inspirational and like, yeah, man, I gotta make sure, you know what I mean? I keep my relationship tight, especially you talk about having a daughter about to graduate. Like, she's becoming her own person. She want to hang out with her friends. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm the furthest thing from her mind as far as like, I mean, I want to hang out still.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I'll settle for a phone call.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that's a change, bro.
So.
That's a mad change. You know, I went through it with both my son and my daughter, like, because when they're young, they're all about you. They want to jump on your back. They want to do what you're doing. You know, they want the same haircut you got. They want to listen to the same music, watch the same shows, all of this. And then when they start growing and developing and becoming their own person, and you see them doing something different, you like, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? It used to be all about me. Now it's like, nah, Dad, get out of here. I'm trying to do this. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you want to go to the concert with me? Yeah, I want to go, but not with you. You know what I'm saying? And you got to just kind of like accepted. Like, all right. They growing up. They got their own friends now. You know what I mean? They still gonna rely on you for something, for things that they need, but they looking at, all right, I'm ready to start my life and start my traditions and stuff like that. It's tough for a parent, man. It's tough for a parent, no doubt.
I got a question real quick. It's gonna sound unrelated, but it is related. When did you hear about this whole J. Cole apology thing?
Last night.
Last night? Okay.
Last night.
Because let me just tell you, my solar eclipse today, they let the kids out of school early.
Mm-hmm.
Pick my daughter up at 11, right? So I pick her up. Actually, I go to pick her up. She's like, oh, pick me up from the store. I got to ride with one of my friends. We going to the store. So I go to the store. I beat them there somehow. She pulls up, whatever. I got the J. Cole album playing,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm excited because I told you when I picked her up last, I asked her if she heard what was going on with the Kendrick song, and she was like, oh, yeah, they clowning him. And I'm like, clowning who? And she's like, both of them, Cole and Drake. So my conversation with her then was, Cole gonna come back. You know what I mean? Like he been waiting for this moment for 3 years.
Right.
So I pick her up today. I'm bumping the record. You know what I mean? I'm like, what they saying in school? And she's like, they're not talking about J. Cole. I'm like, they didn't hear the record? They didn't hear the album? So I'm wondering if she like saved me, because I didn't hear about it until I got home.
Right.
Like after 11, when I dropped her off, I got home. That's when I heard about it for some reason. So I don't know if it didn't hit the school yet, or if she was just trying to save me and give me some grace. But knowing my daughter, she would have clowned me if
yeah.
if she knew what was going on. I'm sorry. I know that was random, but you just reminded me.
But that's it's crazy. And and I look at hip hop too, man. Just like we're talking about our daughters, and kids and stuff growing up, right? And I always look at like, damn, when I was young, I didn't have that connection with my pops or my mother. The music, I didn't have that connection. You know what I'm saying? But now I got this connection with my kids. You know what I mean? I might, I might be more of a fan of, 90s hip hop, but I can listen to, some people from today, and my kids, they grew up listening to 90s hip hop, right? So we got that connection of having the same genre of music. I just remember back a long time ago, white kids always had that connection with their family, with their pops, with their mother, or whatever, like classic rock.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They always had that connection. You know what I'm saying? And it was, I would say like, all right, I ain't know what to think about it at all, really. But I just knew that they had that connection. You know what I'm saying? But now I can look at it like, damn, I can have that connection with my kids. You know what I'm saying? Just, listening to old school hip hop, new school hip hop, golden age, whatever it is, we got that connection, and we can share our thoughts with hip hop, about hip hop. You know what I mean? And that's dope.
Another Nas line, but we gotta find ways to bridge the gap. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Word.
You gotta find ways to bridge the gap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That might be a segment one day, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for real. Bridge the gap, that's dope. You know what I mean? That's dope. But yeah, this is gonna be a real dope show. It's gonna be a show by itself. You know what I mean? As we get into topics and whatnot. What we need you guys to do is just leave topics for us. Leave it in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? Leave topics for us, that you wouldn't mind hearing, talking about. You know what I'm saying? We'll start touching on all kinds of topics.
For sure.
Like all kinds of topics. Nothing's gonna be off limits, I guess. Talk about everything. Not really politics stuff, but just, life.
Yes. I'm done with politics
Word.
talk.
That's what I'm saying. Word up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just life stuff, man. Yeah, just life stuff. D Coolest said, my daughter doesn't even like hip hop. I try to play it for her. She's not having it. But so I mean, if that was me, D Coolest, all I don't know, and maybe you already do it. I'd find out what she's listening to and connect
Give
with
it a
her.
try.
Give it a try. Connect with it that way. You know what I'm saying? Listen to what she's listening to. Make that connection. You know, because music for all people is a uniter. It's a connector.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's a connector. That's one where, like, when you look at someone and you figure, do I have anything in common with this person? Music is one of the first things you point to and look at. Do we listen to the same music? Can we talk about music? Can we sit down and listen to an album together? Or when we're riding in the car, can we enjoy the same music together? Or am I gonna be sitting there miserable as hell, like, man, listening to this garbage? Like, come on. You know what I'm saying? Like, can we listen to something else, please? You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's funny.
Yeah.
And to your point, it's deep when you don't have that connection with your parent, like you refer to as yourself growing up. Mine was far. I mean, I had a connection with my mom with music. Maybe less by choice than, you know what I mean. Like, so with her, it was the R&B, the R&B music and the older soul music that she introduced me to. I didn't really have a choice, but I was fond of it.
Yeah.
And the fact that hip hop tends to bring stuff back, whether it be via sample or whatever the case,
Right.
that was able to bridge more of a gap with me and my mom. You know what I mean? As far as listening to the music, when it was converting into the like hip hop era.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's one of those. You gotta find any connection you can with your kids as they get older. You know what I mean? Because
exactly. Gotta find that
they're
connection.
becoming
Man.
their own person.
They becoming their own person. You know what I mean? No doubt. The coolest said, my daughter's a gamer like me. So there you go. You got that already, and so she listens to a lot of video game music and anime music. I mean, there you go. You know what I mean? No doubt about it. And that's that connection. That's that connection. But yeah, I'm gonna get up out of here, Tony. But I think I'm really gonna love this OG talk, though.
No doubt. I do want to highlight. Somebody did ask a question. I don't know if this was like down the line, but I think we can answer that real quick.
Yeah.
Off topic debate: Ashanti or Alicia Keys, who is more beautiful? Hard choice. Both women are beautiful. I agree. They are both beautiful.
Yeah, they're both beautiful women.
Yeah, let's leave it at that.
Yeah, we leave it at that. They're both beautiful women. No doubt about it. They're both beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. We appreciate it. I'm looking forward to coming back this week with another OG talk. You know what I mean? I guess we could talk about, when we have time to jump on and do it, but I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Nah, for sure.
Get some more people in here having the discussions too. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. Get some phone lines up. You know what I mean? So we could get some stories and perspectives and all that.
No doubt.
But yeah, man, this was nice. Yeah. It's obviously it's gonna be a nice therapeutic
yeah, it is.
Therapeutic show.
Yeah, no doubt. Ladies and gentlemen,